Hey everybody, it's Mr. Carr again. Today we're covering 9.1 day 2. It's going to be covering what's called arc length and sectors. Okay, so some new vocab. We got arc length. That is a portion of the circumference. So you kind of see it down here. That's what arc length is. Okay, if I look at the circumference, that's the entire way around the circle, whereas arc length is just this little portion right here. Okay, so if the whole thing was, 20 feet, then that small portion might be 5 feet, something like that. The sector of a circle is going to be the region that's bounded by two radii of a circle and their intercepted arc. So I'm going to add to that, it's also a portion of the circle's area. So just like arc length is a portion of the circumference, sector is the portion of the circle's area. And so that's what we're seeing right here. We're seeing that the amount of space that that little piece of pie takes up, that is my sector versus the entire area of the circle. So arc length corollary. This is how we can find that length. Like I said, it's a portion, which means we know that in a circle, the ratio of the length of a given arc to the circumference, so arc to circumference, is equal to the ratio of the measure of the arc to 360. So this is what it looks like. We're saying that I'll call length L, circumference is C. Okay, we'll call arc measure M. So the ratio of length to circumference is equal to the measure over 360. And that's what we're going to do to kind of solve this every time. We're going to set it up as a proportion and then cross multiply. And that's all we have to do. And the only thing to add on to that, remember from the previous lesson, circumference is 2 pi r, or pi times diameter. So we got arc length of AB. We want to find the length here. So I'm going to set that up. L over circumference, which in this case is 2 times pi times 2. The measure is 88, and then it's going to go over 360. So let's cross multiply. So we got 360 times arc length is equal to 88 times 2 times pi times 2. Okay, and then we'll divide both sides by 360. This is what you can put in your calculator. And again, this is a matter of doing it all in the proper order. Okay, so if you are going to do it as a fraction, then you're fine. Like if you have a calculator that can do everything as a fraction, you just put everything in the numerator, so that's 88 times 2, and then times pi, and then times 2 again. And my denominator, it's just 360. Put it all in as one, you get an arc length of, 3.07, and it was millimeters, so it stays millimeters. Excuse me. So that's it. Now, if you don't do that as one step, then you need to do it as multiple steps. Then I would say make sure you do all the multiplication first. Do the 88 times 2 times pi times 2. Then you take that number and divide by 360. All right? Okay. Arc measure. So we're going to actually find the arc measure now. We're given the arc length is 38. And we're told that 12.3 is actually the radius, even though it kind of looks like diameter here. So here's what I'm going to set up. I know the arc length is 38. I know my circumference is 2 times pi times the radius is equal to measure divided by 360. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and cross multiply here. So I've got 38 times 360 is equal to m times 2 pi times 12.3. Okay? And again, if I keep everything as like kind of algebraic and I can plug it all in as one thing at the end, I'm going to divide both sides by 2 pi 12.3. Okay, so that's all gone. So I'm going to be left with m. This is what my calculator needs to look like. 38 times 360 So I'm going to do that on mine right here. So 38 times 360. And my denominator is going to be 2 pi 12.3. Okay, and I do that so that my measure is going to come out as 177.01 degrees. So remember what we're dealing with here, because we're dealing with circumference and arc length, okay? The length and circumference, that's going to be normal dimensions, like whatever it is, millimeters, inches, units, okay? That's what that is. This is going to be degrees because it's out of 360 degrees, okay? Main idea number one, arc length is a portion of the circumference, just like the measure is the portion of the 360, okay? Area sector is going to do the same thing. The ratio of a sector to a circle, the ratio of a sector of a circle, so a sector to the area of the whole circle is equal to the ratio of the measure to 360, okay? So if I do sector, I'll call it S over area is going to be M over 360, all right? Measure is going to be M, area of the sector, area of the circle. So that's what I'm going to do to set this up. Find the areas of the sectors formed by this. Okay, so I've got sector area, that's what I'm solving for. It's interesting. It says plural sectors, so I think I'm going to I'll find this one, and then I'm going to go back again and then do this one. Okay, so we're going to do sector over area. So in this case, it's pi times 5 squared, because my radius is 5. And that is equal to 63 divided by 360. Okay, so now I can cross multiply, so that S times 360 equals 63 pi times 5 squared, and then divide both sides by 360. And again, this is what your calculator needs to look like. If you do it as multiple steps, that's fine. Just do all your multiplication first, then do the division by 360. There's the end of the period, I guess. Okay, so if I do that, let's see here. I've got 63 pi, no, up in there. 63 pi and then 5 squared. And that's all divided by 360. So my sector area in this case is 13.74. And I was not given a dimension, so we're just going to say units squared. Okay? And like I said, I'm going to do this again for the other one. So if that's 63 degrees here, the other one is going to be 360 minus 63. So it's going to give me 297. So if I do this sector area over pi r squared is equal to 297 divided by 360. So cross multiply, I'm going to have 360 times S is equal to 297 times pi 5 squared. Divide both sides by 360 now. So that my sector area is going to come out to 64.795. So we're going to go with 80 units squared. Okay? Just for the fun of it, let's take a look at what is pi times 5 squared. Okay? So if I do pi times 5 squared, that's going to be my area of the circle. So we got pi 5 squared comes out as 78.54. Well, what happens when you add this and this together? So if I take 13.74 plus 64.8, I get 78.54. There it is. Okay, that's something to kind of be aware of. These two are going to add up to the entire circle, because again, sector area is a portion of the entire circle. So all these numbers kind of match up like that. And that's it for today. Arc length, area, sector, two main ideas. Okay, you can kind of work things forwards and backwards depending on what it is, but you can't go wrong with just setting up either of these two. There we go. Either that one or setting it up that way. But you still need to remember from the previous lesson, what's the area of a circle and what's the circumference of a circle. There we go. All right. That's it for today. I will talk to you again later. All right. Have a nice day.